if I traded it all, if I
So welcome back, everyone. My next guest has also been on the air with me a couple times now. I have with me Dr. Engleman, and you are with Engleman Institute, Engleman Health Institute.
Correct.
Welcome back to the show, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. We can tell Roland is having a Happy New Year, that's for sure. He's
Doctor,
a riot.
Isn't he crazy?
He's a riot.
But you know what? It's great. I love it that
That's
it's that
great.
way. So let's talk something, because you know what? It's a new year. It's a new you. Okay? But you have some exciting things going on, and I want you to be able to talk about it. Go ahead.
We do. Well, what we do at the Engleman Health Institute is integrative medicine. Integrative medicine is using both traditional medicine, like is practiced in most of the mainstream hospitals. It has some alternative medicine in it. It has some naturopathic medicine in it. So it's really the best of all worlds. I understand how to write a prescription. I wrote lots of them when I ran the emergency room at St. Joe's for 23 years, but there's no free lunch. And every time you write a prescription, you may get this effect that's good, but you may get at least one or more effects that isn't so good. So if we can do this with lifestyle management, with diet, with people managing their stress, which obviously over the holidays has been completely nuts. And that's and that's a good New Year's resolution, probably more effective in terms of getting your health in shape than deciding that you're going to eat 10 less calories a day, because I think that's much more dangerous for people's health as high stress levels. In fact, not just I think that's a fact.
Doctor, before you go on, I also want you to quickly, because we know how fast this goes by.
Just by fast.
Talk a little bit about yourself, because you're a doctor. You know, it's good to know a little bit about you. Go ahead.
So I'm an MD. I was trained in internal medicine. Was going to be a cardiologist. Got excited rotating through the emergency department. Loved the drama. I was fast on my feet. I liked being a hero, and I was good at it. And so for 23 years, that's what I did. And then eventually I got interested. I came from an internal medicine background, and so that's really where I think my real roots and genetic roots are. And I started getting back involved in actually taking care of people from the beginning to the end of their lives. And I loved it, and I really like it a lot now. So that propelled me into looking into new science of, why are people sick? Why do some people age faster than other people? Is there anything you can do about it, that we can do about it? Who knows about these things? How do the cells actually work? What's the biology? How does food enter it? How do sleep habits and all the other environmental things go in? And it turns out that they're all very, very significant, and they're all integrated. You can't really separate one from the other.
Here's what I want to do. I want to open up the lines to the audience for anyone who might want to call in. Okay?
Sounds
Is that
good.
okay?
That sounds good.
And here's the thing, okay? I like to say the doc is in to answer any of your questions.
The doctor is in.
And he is here live. It's a new year. Are you feeling a little sluggish? Are you not feeling that great? It doesn't matter what your question is. The doc can help you, give you a little advice here right on the air. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Okay, Doc, you've got some cool things that are going on that are new that you want to talk about.
We do. I'm very interested in doing diagnostic and prognostic testing. In other words, what's your status? What propensity does somebody have? And now we're doing lots of good genetics now, and that's the future of medicine. This is really what we're talking about is personalized medicine. So how you metabolize, digest, and metabolize and absorb your food is, I guarantee you, different from mine. My 25-year-old person that runs the front desk eats the same exact meal that I eat, and I absorb, on a good day, 40% of what she absorbs.
Does that happen where as you get older, does that change? Because when I was younger, I used to be able to eat anything, too. That's
correct, and it does. And there are actually statistics for how just like your hormones change as we get older, and obviously now with the testosterone and so forth and so on, it goes down every year after probably 30 years old, and so do your digestive enzymes, and that's a big deal. So most of the people that I see that are older who go, I eat well, and then we get their tests back because we can test for every nutrient, every vitamin in their cells, and they don't look so good, and they say, I just don't understand it. And the answer is they're not making any digestive enzymes, and we can test for that as well.
And you can help for that.
Absolutely. You just replace their digestive enzymes. If you can't digest it, you can't absorb it. It goes straight through and goes right into the toilet.
No wonder.
There you go. There's the answer to life.
So now let's talk about a little bit about this new program that you got, because it's exciting, guys. Listen up.
Okay, so everything that you eat or take in has to be metabolized or broken down and then gotten rid of. And there's a certain number of enzymes in a particular family, and probably 98% of everything that we take in this particular case, we're talking about medications, but it can be alcohol, it can be coffee, and so forth. We metabolize through this family of enzymes in the liver. It turns out that there's about 3 or 4 variations to those enzymes, and they either work the way they're supposed to, or they work faster than they're supposed to, or they work slower, or they don't work practically at all. Well, you can imagine if you take a medication which is made for somebody whose enzymes were based on being normal, and they don't break it down, all of a sudden you have all the horrible effects of that, and you're not in the therapeutic range because it's so high that you didn't spend any time there. And by the same token, if you're a fast metabolizer, you take the medicine, you go, I don't understand. I took it and it's gone. I don't feel my pain's the same, and so forth. Well, we now have genetic testing for those, and we can test for essentially every medication that's out there, every over-the-counter medicine that's out there, lots of even illicit drugs that are out there, alcohol, coffee, and so forth and so on. And it's a mouth swab, so, like CSI,
Yeah.
You don't even have to draw blood, and then it comes back. And
Perfect.
We just got asked to be one of the centers for a new study, so people that have insurance or have Medicare can come in and have that test done, and it won't cost them anything.
Now, you're located where?
We're located at 4400 North 32nd Street, Suite 150, which is in the Biltmore area below Camelback and 32nd Street. It's a nice big building, and we're right smack dab in the lobby.
Your phone number is 602-466-3226, and your website is englemanhealth.com.
Make sure they spell it, yeah.
Go ahead. I know, I remember. It is ENGEL.
That's it.
MAN.
That's
and
it.
You can also call in here, and I know we're going to be going to a break, but we've got our lines open here for everyone to call in, and anyone who's not waiting right now, just hang on tight with us. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can call in, you can ask the doc a question, anything about health. And enzymes as well. It's about your diet. I think that's awesome because it's all about that.
Well, the old medical model, it may not be dead, but it should be. The old medical model is wait
That's
till
what
you
I say
get
about
sick.
myself.
Not the old model, the old medical model is that you wait till you get sick, you go to your doctor, you get a prescription, you get better, and then you wait till you get sick again. It's just a terrible model, and that doctors get paid on that model. They don't get paid to keep you healthy. And so it's like what Roland said, you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later.
Well,
you might
ahead.
as well, take good care of yourself. You go take good care of your car. Why wouldn't you take good care of your health?
Well, I'll tell you what, especially with the healthcare system that we have as well, you really need to take care of yourself, and he's here to help. He's also here live with us to be able to answer your questions. We've got to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to be able to see if we can get somebody on the air here. If not, we're going to get you connected with them. But our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can call in, ask a question, check him out. It's Engleman, ENGELMAN, health.com, and you can also call their office, get into that program. That's free for you.
Yeah, that's they told me this morning. I was so excited. I said, I'm going on the radio this afternoon.
It's perfect timing. So his number is 466-3226 or call us here at 602-277-5369. Why do we have this song?
Because the revolution is here.
And you said you wanted it on purpose.
I did. I loved the song because I was an old hippie, and
Me too.
so, and I always loved the song, and I like the idea of revolutionary thinking. I don't like the same old thinking. Nothing gets accomplished by the same old thinking. It's always new thinkers that are willing to go out of the paradigm that.
How long have you been a doctor, Doc?
Since 73.
Okay. And you've been here how long?
Since 73.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been here that long. Okay. Now, our lines are open here, and what we're going to do is we've just got you're here for another 10 minutes or so. So, and he's here live to talk to you. If you didn't get on, we will connect you with him. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Any health issue, what you got. It doesn't matter what it is.
No.
Because you're just a regular MD, but you're more than that.
Well, I'm interested in cellular biology. At the end of the day, we don't get sick. I don't have one picture of an organ system in my office. No heart, no liver, no kidney. It's not like your liver wakes up one day and decides to go on strike. It just doesn't work that way. So what happens is that cell becomes sick for whatever reason, too much alcohol, fatty liver disease, whatever, and then that cell, the cell next to it, which depends on that cell for its sustenance and to supply it and talk to it, that cell starts to fade, and the next thing you know, you get a cascading effect. So the way I look at health is I'm like the cell whisperer. I like to look inside cells. I like to see what each individual person's cells are doing, and what they're doing well and what they're not doing well, and then replace those things that aren't going well. But these things that happen to people take a long. It's not like you wake up and you got an X-ray of your abdomen or something, and the next day all of a sudden you have cancer in your abdomen. It just doesn't work that way. The skin cancers that I've had, and I haven't had many, I got in Ohio laying out there with my reflector. When the sun was there. That's X number of years ago.
So it doesn't matter what you've done. It matters what you're doing now. It really matters what you've done in the past.
Both.
But then to change it, to help it to continue,
Correct.
But to get better.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's both. You have to. So people go, well, I'm 40, I'm 35, 40, 45 years old. I got plenty of time. No, you don't. If you start doing things now that aren't good, you're setting yourself up for that Alzheimer's disease later, for that heart disease later, for that stroke later. So you better pay attention, and you should come in and at least get checked over once and go, tell me about myself. I'll tell you my family history. You can tell me my genetics, and then give me a good idea about where I am on the roadmap right now, and what can I do to live to be, nice and old. And anti-aging is basically, I tell people, if I told you could live to be 90 or 100 years old and you still have your eyesight, you'd still be mobile, you'd be able to get around, and you'd still have your brain working well, would you take that deal? Everybody would take that deal.
Right.
And so, are you...
As long as you don't get up and it hurts, Doc?
Correct. You got to be able to get up and get around, and so that's what this is all about. And it doesn't happen by accident. Aging is not a disease. Aging is a process.
Again, you can call him. His number is 602-466-3226. The website is Engleman, Engelman, health.com, and located in Biltmore. Been doing this since 1970, what?
Well, I've been doing regular medicine since 73, and I've been doing this integrative internal medicine for the last 3 years.
And our lines are open here at 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You can call in, you can ask questions. We're going to try and get somebody on here that's calling, but I'm not sure what's going on back there right now. But we'll get you connected with them, because that's what it's all about.
Okay.
There's people out there that are not feeling good. They're just not well, and they do have questions. They don't know they've gotten to the point where they don't know where to turn.
Everyone needs an advocate. They need a health care advocate. And if you're lucky, it'll be your doctor.
Well, doctor, let's go ahead before you go, because this is a new program that you just got asked to do for today. So that's really exciting about that. Let's talk about it again before you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so at the end of the day, everything that we take in gets broken down. And like, for instance, there's a brand new drug out that is a new way of attacking high cholesterol. You know, everybody thinks of statins, and they've been around forever, and they work a certain way, and everybody knows what the pathway is and so forth. But there are just some people that can't take statins. Well, it turns out there's a new drug classification that just came out in August, and it's very specific, and it works completely different way. But it's also expensive, so you want to get your insurance company to pay for it. So in order for you to be eligible for this stuff, you have to prove that you can't take a statin, and some people get bad aches and pains on statins, and some people get mental confusion, but mainly it's the aches, the muscle aches. That you've been on a maximum dose of statins, and it didn't work, you didn't get your cholesterol down, that you've had a heart attack or a stent or, you know, some cardiovascular event, or that you have significant type 2 diabetes and high cholesterol and you couldn't get it down. So I could tell somebody, you know, if they get this test done genetically, if they're not taking a statin, before they ever start to take a statin, that their likelihood of having bad effects from statin are very high, just by their genetics. That's a typical example of this test. Or somebody who needs to get a blood thinner, and they don't make the enzyme that makes that blood thinner thin the blood. And that's not uncommon. And you're walking around thinking that you're protected from a stroke, but you're not. And so we have those tests now in the genetics, and we managed to get associated with this group because we're a well-known organization, and people can get that done, and they don't have to pay for it. It's like 200, 300, 400 drugs, and they get a full result. Here's what you should take. Here's what you can take. If you need this drug, you should take more of it or less of it, or you shouldn't take this drug at all. Here's the genes that are changed and so forth. And if you go to the hospital or you go get surgery, outpatient surgery, you should hand it to your anesthesiologist and say, look, don't give me this stuff because I may not wake up. You know, and I've heard it from a lot of people who get, you know, twilight sleep, you know, for their tooth, their whatever. And they told me that I almost died when they gave me that happy juice. And the reason is because they have an enzyme that doesn't break that down. And so they just kept building up and building up. Next thing you know, they stop breathing. Are
you one of the only people out here that are going to be being able to give these tests?
We're the only group here that's going to be giving that with that no cost to the patient.
And it's no cost to the patient. If you're interested, you can also call me here. And I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show to get connected with me so I can help you get connected with him too. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.
Plus, one other quick thing. We have another test we were talking about before that we just got in from one of the technology companies in Massachusetts, but it measures your vascular health. You just put a little probe on the end of your finger for 3 minutes, and it'll tell you how hard or, you know, how malleable or how hard your arteries are. And it tells you your stress, and it tells you how well you handle stress. It has to do with there's two nervous systems, the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight, and parasympathetic. And so they should be in balance. That's what Chinese medicine is about, yin and yang. Mm-hmm. When one gets out of balance, and I can tell you in this society, it's your sympathetic nervous system that's out of balance. It takes over and your heart races and your blood pressure goes up and you don't digest well. And this test will tell you that just by putting a little probe on your finger.
And you have that test in your office. Yeah. Now, on your website, I know that you just got news about the new test that you're going to be offering. Will that be on your website too?
Yeah,
soon?
We'll put it up.
Yeah, good, because you're going to want to go to his website, check him out.
It won't be on yet.
No, I know that.
But now that you know about it, you can just call in.
Right, and again, he's been doing this. Well, he's been a doctor since 1973, and all of this is new. But you've been also practicing here. You said for how long?
Since 73.
No, I meant in the new way that you're doing.
For 3 years. I basically took 5 years, went back to to the new medicine, the biochemistry, cellular biology, and so forth. But I practiced for a fair number of years. I've never had a lawsuit, and I've never had a complaint in all those years.
Right.
So.
Now, here's what we've got. We're going to let you just keep on calling, guys. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100 if you weren't able to get on. Also, if you want to just have a question and you want me to connect you with him, I will do that too. And you can call his office. Check him out. The number is area code 602-466-3226. It's Engleman, Engelman, health.com. Again, that number is 602-466-3226. It's englemanhealth.com.